Okay, good afternoon, Melbourne. Good afternoon, waterski fans here on the banks of the Yarra, and of course around the world watching on the webcast. We're about to get underway with the very exciting men's LCQ last chance qualifier for 8 of the men that missed out on tomorrow afternoon's final, and it's going to be super tight here because there's 8 slalom skiers, very little separating these 8 guys. And a lot of young guys, a lot of guys that maybe it's their first trip to MOOMBA, but they're going to fight hard to get into that final. Conditions, to me, look pretty good, actually. I think it looks great out there for slalom. Hard to know, though. We saw the carnage and the chaos of yesterday. You don't really know what's going to unfold, but at the moment it looks pretty good. And Curtis, everything's set in readiness for a pretty exciting afternoon slalom.
Yeah, I think this new format, the last chance qualifier, is going to be a real hit because I think we're going to have all kinds of excitement. The open women's slalom LCQ is going to be a blockbuster. Maybe the headline event of the tournament, the way things are shaping up. But the men's will be good too because I like the look of this field. There's a lot of great characters throughout it. A lot of young guys, like you said, a lot of up-and-comers, hard-working battlers out there, and they have a chance to make their way through to the final. Of course, if you missed the open men's elimination round, well, the start of it was carnage because I think we ran a series of 13 skiers in about 35 minutes. Give you some idea of how quickly we whipped through the men. But we'll kind of bring you through the various skiers in this field, but the very first off the dock, opening up on the 13-metre line, about to come out from underneath the Swan Street Bridge, will be out of Argentina, Patricio Zohar. He'll be followed by the Italian Eduardo Marenzi, the Aussie, the veteran in the field, Nicholas Adams. And then there's a few Aussies in a row. You've got sort of the Archie Davis, Trent Nelson-Cranfield, Jack Christie, all vying for a spot in this last chance qualifier, and last 2 off the dock. Knowing what they'll have to beat will be the Argentinian Bautista Hamar and the American Carter Eaton. But right now, this is Patricio, pass number 1 from the bridge end.
Yeah, 13-metre line, 32 off. Good start for Patricio. Magnificent conditions. Yeah, nice pass. Things look good out there, I've got to say it.
Yeah, we're pretty close to low tide, so
yeah,
there's not much current. There's the wind that was there for the ladies' jump has pretty much dissipated, and there's, like you said, glass calm, not much wind to deal with. The Yarra River does not really get any better than it does right now.
Absolutely perfect. Warm afternoon in Melbourne, around 34 degrees Celsius, which I guess is about probably about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, although I'm not too familiar with the Fahrenheit system. And yeah, it's a beautiful afternoon for water skiing. Good crowd in. Birdman, of course, this morning. Birdman rally always brings in a few punters into the city and a few people mingling. Slightly on the warm side for viewing the skiing in the sun, but we're getting more and more shade around here at the Alexander Park Gardens as the evening goes on and the afternoon goes on, and it is setting itself up pretty well for a wonderful afternoon's water ski viewing.
So pretty early on, we're about to have Patricio back in on the 12-metre line, but are you willing to hazard a guess to where you think that cut's going to be, those top 2?
Well, I think it'll be similar to the cut from yesterday, probably around that 4 at 11. Maybe slightly higher because there's only 2 going through. So here's the 12-metre line. Patricio Zohar of Argentina. Pulled his arms in a little bit on 2, but he's okay. He's fighting a little bit here. He's got in trouble on 4. He's working hard for 5. He's got 5. Oh, he's not going to get to 6. And I think it's good conditions out there, but Patricio Zohar has struggled here and finished up with maybe 5 on the 12-metre line. So that's disappointing because I think the conditions are pretty good, and Zohar should have run that pass really, but just never quite got us settled on 2 and 4 side. What's the replay here? It wasn't a good one either. 2, he lifted the handle pretty high. 3 wasn't too bad. Crossed the 4, slow out of 4, late for 5, and just couldn't turn the ski. So struggling a little bit out there on the Yarra, Curtis.
He was ending up with a pretty similar score than he did in the preliminary round, albeit with better conditions. It's interesting kind of looking through this field. Most of these skiers were in the top series of men's slalom that did get significantly better conditions, but a couple of them battled through some pretty average stuff. Archie Davis in particular, he probably got the worst conditions of anybody in that men's slalom elimination round. But moving right along, we go to our second of the 8 skiers, the LCQ, vying just for 2 spots in the men's slalom final tomorrow. And we go to a young man out of Italy who has not had a good weekend. I don't think there's any way to sugarcoat it. He's a world-class talent in all 3 events, but as of right now, he's missed the trick final, he's missed the jump final, and he's going to need something special here to make the slalom final. Disappointing. He's a super nice guy, Edo, real hard worker. When he gets it together, there are very few skiers in the world who are as good as him across all 3 events. But unfortunately, he's just sort of failed to fire so far at these MOOMBA Masters. Can he make amends here as he comes in 13 metres from the Swan Street Bridge end? Just to be on time and early as he hits from 4 across to 5. And tidy opening pass there for the Italian.
Yeah, good stuff from Edo. Runs the 13-metre line, is shortened now onto the blue shortening, 12-metre line coming up. So Curtis, you posed the question a few minutes ago, what I thought the cut would be. I'm guessing somewhere around 4 at 11. What's your thoughts on the cut?
Look, I'm thinking with the conditions as good as they are, I'm thinking you may need to run 11. I think,
okay.
Because it's only 2. Every single skier in this field has a personal best, at least into 10.75, and many of them into 10.25. You look at the likes of Nick Adams, Eduardo Marenzi on the water, Jack Christie, Carter Eaton, and I just think if conditions hold like this, it is very possible that you may need to run it. I could be wrong. It could well end up being at 4, but remember that the top seed in this field, Carter Eaton, got a 4 in the much more challenging conditions, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, well, you may well be right. We'll have to wait and see. It probably depends a little bit on how well these first 2 or 3 skiers ski.
Absolutely.
Because if one of them runs 11, one of these first 3 skiers runs 11, then you're dead right. I think everyone will be running. There'll be a few skiers running 11, or a couple at least. But I think if it ends up being stuck around that sort of 4 ball as being the best ski score, people will tend to ski towards that score. Anyway, here's a 12-metre line now for Italian, Eduardo Marenzi. Good start on 1. Comes out of 2. Not too bad. He's on time and early. He's around 3. He's getting it done. Across to 4. This is 12-metre line. Breaks forward on 4. He's okay, though. Round 5. And he skis across to 6. And that's a good score there. Put your hands together, Melbourne. A little bit hot in the mouth around 4 ball, though. Broke forward. But luckily for him, he completes the pass.
Yeah, look, we're talking up how conditions are good out there, and they are compared to how it can be, but it's always challenging on the Yarra River. There's always some demons out there on the river. You never know when a stray roller is going to hit you. And showing good composure there, Eduardo Marenzi, to run that pass, because he wasn't a spot of bother at one point, and sets himself up for 11 metres from the Swan Street Bridge end. And, of course, if you're joining us for the first time here on the banks of the Yarra River, we are in the water ski slalom event. As you've seen from these skiers, we have a fixed course out there of 6 turn buoys. They must go around all 6. Every time they run a pass, we make things a little bit higher. It's kind of like high jump. We sort of continuously raise the bar, but there's no bar to be raised. So instead what we do is we make that tow rope shorter each time. We pull it in, shorten it up. And this next line length, for the first time this afternoon, 11 metres, is significant because it is shorter than the distance from the boat to those red turn buoys they're going around. So the rope that they're being towed behind now is no longer physically long enough to get outside each and every buoy. So the skiers have to start sort of leaning over, using their body height to get outside each buoy. Eduardo, he's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, 11-metre line now for Eduardo Marenzi from Italy. Strong overall skier, super competitive skier. And he desperately, as you said, Curtis, had a bit of a shocker of a tournament so far in tricks, jump, Hopefully he can make his way down through this pass and maybe get into the slalom final. Here he is on 11.25. Not a bad start on 1. Narrow for 2 though, and he's in trouble early on here. And 2 at 11, I think is going to end up being a pretty disappointing score for Eduardo. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be enough, unfortunately. So that, in all likelihood, will end Eduardo Marenzi's 2025 MOOMBA Masters, a tournament to forget for the male model from Milan. And he'll, I'm sure he'll go home. He'll work on some things, try and identify what went wrong, make some adjustments, and we'll see him back at a lot of events throughout the 2025 calendar. Of course, the World Championships in his home country. I think not all, I don't know if it's his home side, it'd be close to it. I know he's from the northern part of Italy, and that's where Ricetto is. So,
exactly.
Of course, that World Champs towed exclusively by the world record-setting ski nautique.
Look forward to that. We might just have a slight delay here, Curtis. Unfortunately, we've got some sort of a technical issue with one of our cameras or something. So I think the boat's going to come back to the dock, so there may just be a slight delay.
Well, it would be a great time for the captain of the country team, Jared Farrow, one of his award-winning roving mic interviews. I don't know if he's lined anyone up, but we are going to have just a slight delay while we address a technical issue.
Well, boys, I've got Eduardo Marenzi down here. Edo, 2 at the 11.25 in this LCQ. Probably not going to be enough to go through to MOOMBA Monday, though. How does it feel for you being an international athlete coming all the way from Italy, skiing in front of this Melbourne crowd?
It's best tournament of the year, to be honest. It's just disappointing not skiing the way you want, but I don't think it's going to make the finals. Just hope.
What do you think? What do you think's going to make it? What do you think the cut's going to be? Of course, we've got some big skiers coming up. What do you think this cut's going to be get through to tomorrow?
I think at least it's going to be 4 at the 11, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's more than 2 people run 38 today.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the talk around the town. Pretty nice conditions, though. How did you feel out there? Does it feel different than what was yesterday?
It felt definitely better than yesterday. A little movie, a little rolly, especially that gate, but it does feel pretty good out there. It's a good day to put some big scores out there.
Are you coming back next year?
Hopefully.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Eduardo Marenzi of Italy. I have to wait and see whether he's going to go through. We're going to try and have a chat to some of the skiers as they come off. We'll get out in the pickup boat once we get this issue sorted with our camera. Let's jump into the Nautique while we're here. Have a look. Got Nigel Sparrow, one of our drivers. Nigel, how you feeling, mate? What does it take? A lot of people think from a driver's point of view they can go in, jump in a boat and drive these sort of tournaments. You drive all around the world for world championships. What does it take? What do you think the 3 key things are to be a good tournament driver?
Probably a bit of consistency. Like out here, it's going to change every pass we do. So we're just trying to be as consistent as possible for everyone, I think.
And what are some of the things that help you as a driver with these ski nautiques? I mean, they're purposely built for tournament skiing and these sort of events. What are the key things that that set the ski nautique apart from other boat manufacturers?
Look, it's definitely for me, it's the tracking, like the way the boat drives. I can feel where the skier is and what they're about to do, so I can be in the right spot for them at the right time.
And being able to control the zero-off system and see all of the things you need to see, that's a big thing.
Information is there, just it's easy to look at, and as I'm getting older and my eyes are going, it's a big blessing.
Well, I think, Nigel, you're nearly getting ready to go. But these 100-year edition nautiques are just, they've got some of the little fine touches that make them a very special boat. Of course, 100 years of nautique. And they've fitted out with sea deck. You've got the 6.2-litre GM Marine engine in them. They've got all nice gold decals all through the boat. All those special things for this 100-year edition. But I'm hearing word that we might be ready to go, Curtis, and we might be able to bring on our next skier very shortly.
Still working through the technical issue. But just hearing that we are going to get back underway. We're just going to run that beautiful GM Marine towboat up and down the river one more time.
Yeah, just temporarily lost the feed from the boat, I think, Curtis. I've just been in there helping out, of course. You know how good I am with technical stuff. And got that fixed.
So if you're joining us here on the banks of the Yarra River or around the world, of course, we do run to a pretty tight schedule here, and we have certain times throughout the day where we open up the river to let traffic through. And there has been, I think you missed it earlier on, but we had a beautiful big barge from the Parks Department come through disposing of the Birdman Rally leftovers. So it actually, that one came through not during a scheduled transit, but you've been counting the boats. It's been a bit of an activity of yours throughout the weekend. You'd be glad to have seen that come through. But the call is that we should still have time to get through to ski at number 5 of 8. So 3 more skiers to come before that 5 p.m. transit. And wouldn't it be great to see some more Aussies through to the Solemn Final? Of course, Lucas Cornell through to the Solemn Final already, but we've got 4 Aussies in this last chance qualifier vying for those final 2 spots up against some international competitors as well. So we want to get behind the locals.
And first up is Melbourne himself, Nick Adams. So a lot of family and friends here on site. This is his home city. And he's quite capable. He's got a personal best of, used to be the Australian record, I think maybe 4.5 on the 10.25. So I'm not sure if he's still in that sort of form, but he's definitely in the sort of form that should possibly see him run 11 metre, like you say, Curtis. And that would be the key, I think. If he could run 11 and get a couple of 10.75, that would change the whole dynamics of this LCQ, because I think then the standard would definitely lift. I think guys would know that they have to run 11 and probably give it a good shot and get it done.
All right, 100% agree. I think what happens over these next couple skiers really sets the tone for the rest of the field, because some may be thinking that sort of somewhere around 4 at 11 is enough, and you may well be right with that. But if someone comes out early, posts a big score, it changes the equation for the rest of the boys. So Nick Adams, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Local lad out of Victoria for the umpteenth time in his career. Comes out from underneath the Swan Street Bridge, 13 metres to start. Conditions pretty good out there for the big lanky Victorian as he makes his way through this 13-metre pass. He's on time and early for the fourth of the 6 boys. And a really smooth, tidy opening pass. Put your hands together, Nicholas Adams.
Absolutely. See the Adams family down on the back side of the arrow there, leaning against the fence, supporting Nick. And that was a good 13-metre pass. You're short now onto the 12-metre line. The LCQ at MOOMBA, the 2025 first ever LCQ that I can remember anyway at MOOMBA.
Well, of course, they've been running the format in the wakeboard for years, and
yes.
It's been a fantastic format. I caught the men's LCQ this afternoon. It was an exhilarating event, but I think it's a great addition here in the men's and women's slalom. Of course, the women's slalom LCQ coming up is going to could be the headline event of the tournament, just about. Finals. Women's LCQ.
For a chance to go to the big dance, the MOOMBA Monday afternoon finals. $12-metre line now. US, we probably almost waking up again in the US, such as the time difference, but here we go, Nick Adams, 12-metre line. Should just be a warm-up pass from him. Good start on 1. To round 2. Looks the goods at the moment on the 12-metre line. Does local lad Nick Adams. Round 4, cross to 5, and there you go. Nice pass, 12-metre line.
He's looking comfortable out there as Nick, building into his work, and look, it's always tough here on the Yarra River, but Nick has run 11 metres on the Yarra River countless times. He's been coming here for years. He's the veteran in the field. He's got the experience. He's got the creds. He's done it before. Could we see him have a real crack at this pass?
Yep, this is a big moment coming up for not only Nick and the entire Adams family, and most of them seem to be here on the Yarra enjoying themselves, but watching this, but also, of course, the local crowds. Imagine if Australia can get 3 or 4 in the final. It's possible. We've got 1 at the moment. Well, I guess the most they can get is 3 because there's only 2 spots up for grabs, but wouldn't it be a great final? It wouldn't it be good to have one of your very own from here in Melbourne? Nick Adams into that men's slalom final tomorrow afternoon. So it's all ahead of Nick. He's got the 11-metre line coming up. If anything, he's got a little bit of a head breeze here, which could help him, hopefully. But generally, the condition's pretty benign. I think it looks fairly nice out there, Curtis. As you said, right on low tide.
Yeah, we've dropped down at the Swan Street Bridge end, just under the bridge there, letting the conditions settle, and we're getting the confirmation that Nick Adams is about to head back to course, 11-metre line. This is the tricky one where the rope is no longer long enough to reach outside those turn buoys. Luckily, Nick, he's got height and spades. He can afford to donate a little bit of wingspan as he comes in here. Crunch pass. If he runs this pass, he'll have a real good shot deep down it as well. Good start on 1. Great tight line from the Aussie. Little bit slow at 2, though. He needs a big turn to stay in this. He heads across to 4. Nick Adams, 11 metres. It's not a good 4, but I think the old head
Could
there,
be
I
enough.
think he
It's
stood
gonna
up
be
around
close.
4, you know. He wanted the score, the
Well, he
guaranteed
knew
4.
he's been around long enough to know that 4 is a much better score than 3.5. It's not just half a buoy. It's, you know what I mean. It's hard to describe.
Absolutely.
Because a full 4 is a decent score. Look, it may not be enough. Nick knows that. that it may be surpassed here, but at the end of the day, he's put a solid score out there. He's leading at the moment.
So in the lead, Nick Adams, 4 on the 11.25. As he comes back down, let's give a warm Victorian reception to the local lad. In the lead right now, giving himself a solid chance at making it through to the men's slalom final.
Well, we go from one Aussie to the next because we're going to go to Archie Davis now. Archie Davis out of Australian Capital Territory, the ACT, Canberra. Yep, and Curtis is just going to clarify the rule if we get a tie here.
Yes, so if there is a tie, we break the tie based on the preliminary round score. So that means, obviously, if Archie Davis, say, gets 4 on the 11.25, because he had a superior preliminary round score, he would effectively beat Nick Adams. If they tied in the preliminary round, which several of our skiers, they go back to their seeding coming into the event, and if necessary, we'll pull that up because I don't necessarily remember all of that. But what it means is that 4 is good from Nick, but all of the subsequent skiers, if they get a 4, they tie him, they effectively beat him and push him out.
Well, there you go. Okay, Archie Davis now. 13-metre line, green shortening. Shout out to his family back home in Canberra, all watching. Lovely family, the Davis family. And obviously 13-metre line from the city in coming up.
Yeah, one of my favourites in the field. Grew up skiing against him through sort of the age groups, Aussie Kiwis tournaments like that. Well, I grew up losing against him, I suppose. I don't think the competition was probably more in my head than in reality, but he's a super talented 3-event skier. He's in the jump final, probably matured into the best of his disciplines. And here he goes. Not a great start. He's in trouble here as Archie Davis, but he's a scrappy competitor, super tenacious out there. And in the end, he makes up some ground. But I want to talk a little bit about Archie in the preliminary round because, like I said earlier, most of the skiers in this LCQ came out of Series 1 of men's slalom. Series 1 of men's slalom had very different conditions to Series 2. That's just sort of how it goes sometimes. You get the sort of rub of the green. Archie Davis probably skied in the worst conditions that there were yesterday. And there were some pretty bad conditions yesterday. We saw a lot of upsets. And he ran one of the scrappiest 12 metres I've ever seen. He ended up getting 5.5, but he fell off about 4 or 5 times during the pass and popped back up.
Yeah, it was good, gutsy, scrappy slalom. Kind of reminded me of some of those great Aussie skiers from the 80s or 90s out there slaloming, like Jeff Carrington, Bruce Neville. So guys like that out there slaloming, having no right to run the pass, somehow managing to get their way down that course. And Archie was out there fighting hard in the prelim, which is kind of the way you have to ski here at MOOMBA. And it's, he's got himself into this LCQ. And as you say, Curtis, definitely, I think, had the worst conditions of anyone yesterday.
Yep, coming in from the city end, 12-metre line, this young man, heart the size of Ayers Rock. He's got a smile that could melt even the most curmudgeonly person's heart. And he's got a good start here on the 12, on time and early for 3. Oh, no, he's popped his fin out of the water. What's happened there?
Oh, devastation.
That's
for
disappointing.
Archie and devastation for Australian waterski fans. Archie Davis will be out of the running in the men's slalom for 2025 here at MOOMBA. He skied better yesterday in the horrific conditions he had.
Well, the Yarra River always throws up some surprises, some upsets. Disappointing, Archie Davis, unable to punch his ticket through to the MOOMBA Monday slalom final. He will be there jumping, of course. And cannot wait for that. Of course, I imagine he'll be in the blockbuster Sunday night jump tonight as well. So plenty more to see for Archie Davis fans like myself on site.
Well, we go to another Aussie now. It's NCT, or TCN, depending on which way you read his name. Trent Nelson-Cranfield. Oh, we're going to cross now live to Jared Farrow, who has got Archie Davis with him.
Yeah, Archie, a little bit disappointed with that one, mate. Not going to be through to the MOOMBA Monday final, but you're still there for jump. What's the conditions feel like for you out there? You didn't look quite settled on that first one, and still coming back didn't quite look as settled as what you would like.
No, it wasn't too bad today, much better than day one, but I just stuffed up. So.
What's the plan for men's jump? You got to make amends for in jump tomorrow afternoon?
Yeah, with a bit of luck, I'm first off the dock, and I feel like I've got a bit more in me, so it'd be nice to put a good score out.
Set a big score out for the Aussies. What do you reckon?
That's the plan.
Oh, mate, it's disappointing we won't see you in the slalom final. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Archie Davis from Australia. Good luck in the men's jump final tomorrow, mate.
Yep, we look forward to that. Trent flying the Australian flag in that jump final tomorrow afternoon. Here is Trent Nelson-Cranfield from New South Wales. This is his opening pass here on the 13-metre line. Conditions look really good right now out on the Yarra. That's a nice opening pass.
Beautiful opening pass there from Trent. TNC. It's interesting to hear from him earlier. One of Jared's wonderful roving mic interviews, but he tended to agree with you to think the cut would probably be around that. It's a great skier. He's posted many scores, I think deep down the 10.75. He may have even run the pass. And would love to find his way through to slalom final tomorrow afternoon with the Aussie.
What a beautiful afternoon here in Melbourne. One of the great sporting cities of the world. Lovely balmy afternoon, evening. Conditions look pretty good at the moment out there for this LCQ. And Trent Nelson-Cranfield will be back out on the 12-metre line. In the old tickler clock. Here we go. The Nautique rounds the Nautique buoy down there. The city end, and Trent Nelson-Cranfield pulls out wide for the gates on the 12-metre line. Round one. Nice solid start. Out of two nicely, over to three. He's cruising this pass at the moment. Over to four, getting a bit late now though. He's in trouble. What's happened here, Curtis? He's a little bit late into four, and then, tragedy on the water for Trent Nelson-Cranfield.
Yeah, disappointing stuff for the Aussie. Just kind of fell over as he was waiting for the slack to pick up, and by the time the pull came on, he wasn't in a position he could hold it. And that's an upset. And the veteran, Nick Adams, is moving closer and closer to a finals berth. You know, it's easy enough for us to sit up here and say the conditions look good, or perhaps there's something going out there that we're not party to. But from my mind, there's not a whole lot of wind. We're pretty much right at low tide. There's almost no current. I mean, it's always rolly out there. But let's hear from Trent Nelson-Cranfield.
Well, down here with Trent. Trent, you were my hot favourite to go through to the MOOMBA Monday final, mate. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the case here in 2025. What's your thoughts out there, mate? Looks the conditions look good down here, but not quite what you were planned.
Yeah, it's a shame. I was feeling good. I was feeling good before I went out there, but I was a little shaky on my first pass, and then the second pass I didn't quite get to tidy it up, and we're in the water.
Been doing a bit of training down at Latrobe. What's your plans here for the rest of the season? What's your sort of goal from here on in? Of course, we're only in March. Going to Nationals?
Nationals is at my home site, Stony Park, so keen for that. But probably next weekend, have a weekend off, and then, yeah, keep going.
Spend time with mum and your brother and your dad, maybe?
They'd like that, yeah, so we might try.
Well, that's all we hope so. Oh, we're not going to see you through, mate, but thank you for being here. You're going to come back next year?
Of course.
That's it. That's what we like to do. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, please. Trent Nelson-Cranfield. What's going on out there, boys? Seems pretty tough.
Yep, the Yarra River, no shortage of surprises. Well, we have 3 skiers left in this LCQ, but we are going to go on hold here for another river transit. Need to open it up for all the boats waiting out there to go through, and we'll be back underway with the final 3 skiers at about 10 past 5. So good time to nip out, get yourself something to eat. Maybe check out a couple fair rides or get some MOOMBA Masters merch. But we'll see you all back here in about 20 minutes.
Well, Well, ladies and gentlemen, down here on the start though with Tony Brower, the director of GM Marine. Tony, you guys have signed a partnership with the MOOMBA Masters all the way through to 2029. How does it feel from you and GM being a part of such a special event that is the MOOMBA Masters?
Yeah, Jared, thank you very much, and thank you to the city of Melbourne for having us. Just an outstanding facility here. The event, the layout is just amazing. So GM Marine right now is working hand in hand with Nautique and Pleasure Craft Marine to put the best boats on the water with the best engines in them. And we're excited to try to continue the relationship. Relationships are important, specifically in this sport, and we're excited about it.
So people know the GM brand. Of course, here in Australia, we had Holden, and that's part of the GM company. Is that the same engine that goes into the trucks and everything? The same engine that's what's inside these beautiful ski nautiques?
Yeah, great question. So right now, of course, within the market here, we've got our Chevrolet trucks, outstanding trucks. They do have the 6.2-liter gas engine in them. Those same 6.2 liters power these boats today. We work with PCM, Pleasure Craft Marine. They marinize that engine for these boats. So that's referred to as the ZZ8. But yeah, the heart of that engine is the GM, the same one that's in the trucks.
So the process goes, you guys build the base engine and then get shipped off to PCM. They marinize the engine and then it gets stuck in the machine. How long's the partnership been between GM Marine and Nautique?
Yeah, that's again all these great questions to me. Yeah, so right now, if you look at GM Marine right now, it's a 25-year relationship there with PCM. And if you start looking at the legacy there, right, you talk about Nautique, very special year for him this year. 100 years in the business, which is just outstanding. Pleasure Craft Marine doing this business for 50 years. Our relationship with Pleasure Craft Marine doing it for 25 years. So what you're really seeing is the synergy of the system working together, the relationships, and how it matters.
Now, I know the people here probably don't really care very much, but the US Masters, the most prestigious water ski event, this is the largest water ski event, most prestigious. I'm coming over to announce there, but before that, I'm actually going to come across to GM, coming up to Detroit, Michigan, to have a bit of a look at the GM factory. If you follow MOOMBA Masters, we'll do a few posts while we're over there. What what's the factory? How many factories are there? What do we do at sort of different factories? And what am I going to be looking forward to when I'm over there?
Right. So a couple different things, right? So you obviously it's where we build the engines. We're building them at our engine locations. We got 4 main engine locations that we pull from. But so what you're going to be seeing is not so much at the engine plant. We're going to try to get you into the plant, but I'm going to take you behind the scenes, doing the advanced development work that we do. We build these engines up. We put them through hell, and in the different dyno cells that we've got. We shake them, we heat them, we cool them. And then only at that point there do we say that they're ready for the marine space. So then what we do is we put them into vessels. We've got our own development center out in Chesterfield, Michigan, and then those engines go into the boats. We get some time on them to convince ourselves that they are the best engines that we can produce. And then at that point there, we work hand in hand with, in this case, PCM to be able to do additional marinization, optimize the engine into the vessels, propping it right, making sure we got the right heating and cooling, all of the things that matter to the customers and to lead to the great pulls that we see here today.
It's the customer service, the development, all the technology that goes in that will make these. They've absolutely been flawless this weekend. How does it feel from a company like GM to know that they're at the heartbeat of every single record that gets set? I know the Nautique is what gets pulled, but in the end, the GM Marine engine is what is at the heartbeat of these boats. How does that make a company like GM feel?
Yeah, I absolutely have, in the position that I'm at, having a chance to be able to lead that organization. Every one of my engineers, every one of my sales team knows the importance of every engine that we put out there and the value to it. So just as hard as these athletes try each and every day to get the best out of it, is the same thing I've got my team doing, and clearly it's where we want to be, and to be the leader in the industry with the best is where we want to be.
Moomba's been here. This is the 64th Moomba Masters. We've signed with Nautique through to 2030. We're through to 2029 with GM Marine. Do you reckon we can do any deals? Do we can get some maybe ink sign on the bottom line to maybe push it through a little bit further? What do we need to do? Maybe a bit of whining and dining, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to continue to work it hard. This venue is unlike any other venue in the world, frankly. You know, these athletes are out here. It's not as just simple as going out and sticking it like they normally do. You've got currents going back and forth. You know, the height of the waters changing by the run, and it's just amazing to see it do it. So I'm excited. GM Marine's excited to be here. Continue to be part of a great tradition, and here we are. We're at just continue to look forward to MOOMBA and the teams here and working with the athletes. So.
Well, mate, it's a pleasure. All of our sponsors we put on, but in particular Nautique and GM, because you guys, without you guys and your support all the way through to 2029, we cannot put on this event. And it's a pleasure for me and all of the crowd here and every one of the athletes and everyone that's involved in the tournament. Big thank you to you. And please, let's make sure the partnership continues on.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to having you in May up my way and get a chance to see you inside the walls of the organization. And we'll talk again at the Masters. So please keep following us.
Beautiful. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together, please, for Tony Brower from GM Marine. Big thank you. These events don't happen without some of the great work from all of our sponsors, but still a couple of minutes away, I think, Glenn. Quite sure what we might do. I might try and fill a bit of time. I don't know who else we can go and talk to. Might go see if we can find the roaming mic. What do you reckon? Go around and maybe we'll talk to some of the general public. What do you reckon?
Okay, folks, welcome back to the resumption of on-water action. We've had our transit break, but important to have them still. And we will send the beautiful GM Marine pass, and we will get back underway with the Open Men's Slalom last chance qualifier. 2 spots up for grab in the MOOMBA Monday. Right now, Nicholas Adams, the Victorian, sitting in the lead, but 3 skiers left, all looking to surpass that magic mark of 4 on the 11-metre line.
Yes, that's right, Curtis. And as we resume, Nick Adams has one hand on the keys into that final, but certainly not 2, because there's still 3 competitors left. We've got 2 spots into the final. There's 3 competitors left, all capable of skiing more than 4 at 11.25. We've got Jack Christie, another Victorian youngster, still good. Great to see him still out there skiing. Bautista Hamar, who of course is the US Junior Masters champion from 2024, and then Carter Eaton, who is from the western part of the United States and a very accomplished slalom skier. So 3 very good skiers, but I mean, Nick Adams will be slightly confident at the moment. He'll be he's not in yet. I was quite surprised that both 12-metre pass, I must say, Curtis. I didn't expect that. It looked good out there to me. A lot of discussion about the conditions, and as you it was really happening out both
Pointing for both of them. He's funneling in from the city end, but low tide, so there's not much of a current. If anything, perhaps during this transit break, it just turned and maybe starting to come back in a little bit, but the current, I would say, a non-factor right now. It's always rolly here, of course, not beautiful manicured banks. It's very pretty, the banks of the Yarra River, but a lot of retaining walls and storm drains and cobblestones.
Yeah, having said all that, though, low tide at the moment. In the around the turn of the 19th century, a little bit, Curtis. They've got not too bad a gradient on them.
All this man-made water ski sites. Yeah, like the skiers have been struggling. We have had several go down at the 12-metre line. Jack Christie, though, you know, all these Aussies have been coming here for a long time. Jack Christie would have been skiing on the Yarra River every year for probably at least 10 years at this point. He was a super promising junior, so he started in the juniors, I think when he was only about 12, 13 years of age. He started skiing junior MOOMBA. So he's got some serious experience under his belt on the Yarra River.
Well, we wait for the call from the chief judge and the boat judge that we're ready to bring Jack Christie on. He'll be starting on the 13-metre line, 58 kilometres per hour from the Swan Street Bridge end.
Towboat comes out from underneath the Swan Street Bridge, and we get ready to bring Jack Christie in. Like you said, 13 metres.
Here he comes. The transit break is over, and we're into the continuation of the LCQ. Jack Christie on the 13-metre line. Comes out of 1 ball. Pretty nice. Round 2 he goes. Looking the goods. Big, tall guy, built for slalom skiing. Goes across the 6 and completes that opening pass. 6 on the 13.
Make it look easy out there, but it certainly isn't. Of course, slalom skiing, the boat is going a fixed 58 kilometers per hour. But fourth, they are to turn almost on a dime. They got a swivel, and there's all sorts of G-forces going through their body.
Yeah,
They're incredibly strong.
The acceleration and then deceleration is quite phenomenal, isn't it? Never actually seen a reading on that, what sort of speed they get up to through the wakes, and then what sort of speed they have to decelerate to get around the buoys. Be fairly interesting.
I'm sure that'll be on the next TWC broadcast. They'll have the accelerometer.
That'd be cool. Okay, 12-metre line now for Jack Christie. Look, he should be able to run this pass, no problem at all. To me, we've had some pretty big upsets yesterday and even today, so let's wish him the best. 12-metre line, 1 ball looks okay. Across the 2. Big 2 balls, gets in deep, he's in trouble here. Round 3, he's going to have to fight hard. He's got the 4, he's got no chance. Oh, this is devastation. Jack Christie. It's 12-metre line. He's thinking to himself, a 12-metre line shouldn't be that hard, but he came out of 2 ball and all sorts of bother. And that is tough. 3.5 on the 12.
Yeah, I just wonder if there's maybe there are some features along the bank that are usually underwater that have come out that's creating more rollers. I just don't know, because from our vantage point, it looks about as good as the Yarra River gets, and we've just had 3 extremely talented young Aussie skiers, Archie Davis, Trent Nelson-Cranfield, Jack Christie, missed the 12-metre line.
Well, we've got Jared Farrar on the pickup boat. We'll get some insight soon, I'm sure. He'll talk to Jack Christie and see if we can figure out what's going on out there.
With Jack Christie. Jack, disappointing you're not going to go through to MOOMBA Monday, but all thinks it's pretty good. The boys up in the commentary booth all think they just couldn't quite get it done.
Nah, come out to MOOMBA every year, and it's just awesome to ski in front of a crowd. Not too many tournaments like that out there for us, so it's just grateful to be here.
Your preparation for MOOMBA's a little bit hit and miss nowadays, but what's your plans from here? What's the goal moving into the rest of the season for 2025?
Yeah, I set on our state titles coming up and our nationals up in Port Macquarie. So yeah, just get back in the water, train again, and forget and move on.
Who do you think's going to go through? Do you reckon we can see Aussie Nick Adams through to the final?
Yeah, I'd love to see Nick go through.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, please.
Yep.
Okay, well, we're going to go to the US Junior Masters champion from Argentina, and this is 13-metre line for Bautista Hamar. He makes his way down around 5 and across to 6, and not the earliest 13-metre pass he's ever run, but no issues whatsoever. Gets 6 boys in the book.
Yeah, and this is Bautista's 4th set, slalom set of the weekend. Of course, he started well in junior member, got 3 at 11, didn't go so well in the final. And then, of course, he got 3 at 11 to make his way through to the LCQ. So he's shown he's capable of running 12, getting starts at 11. He's chasing 4 right now. A full 4 will knock Nick Adams out. But he's a talented skier. I've been very impressed with his trick skiing in particular. Tricked up over 10,000 points in junior member. And no, he's a seriously talented young man. And you mentioned that he's a junior masters champion. Well, Robin Lake there with the US Masters, that is no easy place to ski. It's certainly pretty rolly. So he's got a proven track record of performing on difficult sites.
Yep, absolutely. And he's got, as you say, 12-metre line now coming from the city end. Last 3 skiers have failed to run this pass, somewhat surprisingly. Let's see how he goes here. Through the gates he comes, round 1. Sort of slack on 1, but not too bad. Out of 2. Late on 2. He's in late already on this pass. Round 3. He's fighting hard. Cross to 4. He's got 4. I think he can get to 5. Can he? He's around 5 and he'll run the 12-metre line. Put your hands together, Melbourne. I've never been so excited about a 12-metre pass in my life. Sensational stuff from the Argentinian.
He's making it look difficult out there. There's something in the water that we're not seeing, perhaps, because for a skier of his talent, I mean, we've had a few miss it. He did run it, but he never settled into a rhythm. He looked very shaky out there the whole way through. But the good news is he's run the pass, Bautista Hamar, and he has a chance. Of course, into the final 2 skiers, he knows exactly what he has to get, what he has to beat to get himself in the final. If he can get a full 4 at 11, he is guaranteed through to MOOMBA Monday.
Yeah, that's right.
More than 2 or more, he has an outside chance. Less than 2, and he's gone.
Absolutely. Because Nick Adams has 4 and Eduardo Marenzi has 2 at 11. And as you know, and we thought Eduardo was finished, the tournament was over, but he's still in with a shot here. To wait and see, but
yeah, it's a slim chance, but I suppose there's a sliver. Bautista, he's already picked up a couple 3s over the course of the weekend. 4 is the asking rate. As we get ready to bring him back in for his 11-metre pass. This is real short line slalom. This is where we've shortened the rope up to the point where it does not reach outside the buoy. It's very tricky. Can Bautista get himself deep down the 11-metre pass?
well, a complete 4. 4's all he needs. If he gets 4, he's guaranteed in the final. See how he goes. The Argentinian from the Swan Street Bridge end needs a good start, obviously. Through the gates, round 1. Big 1 ball, good start. Round 2, looking good at the moment. Cross the 3. He's got 3. He's going to be late, but he should get the 4. He does get the 4. He stands up, hits back to the boat walk, boys, and he's guaranteed into the men's slalom final. Congratulations. The young Argentinian is through to the men's slalom final at the MOOMBA Masters.
Yep, good work from him. You started to look back a little bit at that 4 from Nick Adams, where I thought he had time to potentially turn it, make a play at 5. Could that end up being critical? It's tough because Bautista probably had time to have a crack at the pass there. He's obviously S-turned 4 to guarantee himself through the final. But Bautista is through to MOOMBA Monday. Nick Adams sits on the bubble, 4 at 11, based on their preliminary scores. And we have 1 skier left in this Open Men's Last Chance Qualifier. We have the very exciting Open Women's Last Chance Qualifier coming up. So there's more slalom action to come. But you picked it really on, 4 at 11, the cut to beat.
Years of age is through to his first MOOMBA Masters slalom final. It's a great effort for the youngster. We'll see him tomorrow afternoon lining up against the world's best in that slalom final.
Okay, one last Open Men's skier, and we go from Argentina all the way up to Alaska, the Great White North. Wouldn't be too many high-level water skiers out of the state of Alaska, but this next skier, Eaton, that's where he grew up. He learnt to ski up there. Has spent quite a bit of time over the past 5 or 6 years in the southwest of the United States, attending university.
So, Curtis, you've got a bit of inside oil on this young bloke. He's sharing a room with you. Well, maybe not actually a room, a house with you. for Moomba, and he's a little bit crook, mate. He's got some
Yeah,
sort of bug.
unfortunately, he's caught quite a nasty flu. Around not long after he slalom yesterday, he started
The
developing
flu doesn't have
symptoms.
anything to do with the partying that's going on in the house or anything.
Well, no, because Carter's taking his skiing very seriously, I have to say.
Good man.
He's been going to bed early. He's enforced quiet hours, which we're doing our best to adhere to. In a bad way. He's been bundled up in blankets. He's been trying to medicate, struggling to sleep, struggling to regulate temperature. He's really not in a good way, and it's really sad, and I hope he skis well because it's such an unfortunate time to come down with a bit of a bug. You fly all this way. He actually tied with a lot of the skiers that made it through to MOOMBA Monday. He got 4 at 11, but because of his seeding, he was pushed to the LCQ, whereas others who got the 4 at 11 went ahead of him.
He's going to have to get 4 at 11 again today, and he's struggling. He's got a nasty bug, nasty flu. He's pretty much going to finish this set and get ahead and get put on the drip, I think, by the sound of it. Get the fluids up. 13-metre line. 32 off. If the family's watching back home in Alaska, as he makes his way down the pass. And good, 6 boys. Well done.
Yeah, Carter's been in really good form, illness notwithstanding. He was over at the University Worlds in Auckland, New Zealand. He had one of the highest scores in the prelim. He sort of skied quite well on that saltwater site. Does quite a bit of saltwater training, or at least has in the past, in Arizona, where he's attended university. But pretty cool to have a skier from Alaska. It's not sort of the sort of place in the world you'd associate water skiing with, maybe more snow. That I asked him what it would be like training through the winter. Drive a truck on his lake, but you could.
And we've had a few swans that we've had to wait to move across the course before we could go. And I guess in his case, it's probably polar bears, is it? Or
yeah, we got to get the obligatory polar bear mention every time Carter skis. He's had to wrestle a few off on the starting dock in his time as the American. So 12 metres from the city end for Carter Eaton to pass. You'd expect him to run fairly comfortably, but it has tripped up a few of our athletes in this Open Men's Slalom LCQ. Chasing 4 on the 11-metre line, of course, to make his way through the MOOMBA Monday final.
Well, this will be tough, especially if he's struggling with a bit of an illness at the moment. Here he is, 12-metre line from the city end for Carter Eaton. Not a bad start on 1. This is a good start. Round 2, he's looking good. Across to 3 he goes. He's all over this pass, over to 4. Early as you like for 5 ball. Well, the kid can ski. He might be crook, but he can ski, Curtis. That's
yeah, Carter's young man who's sort of sitting on that cusp of trying to break into the professional circuit. He started recording the odd score into 10.25. Really blossomed into a great slalom skier. And he would dearly love to make it through to the MOOMBA Monday final. Of course, you know, when you are a little under the weather, fatigue starts to become a factor. At 12, he ran it so smoothly and easily. But, well, I certainly wish him the best.
He'll be, he'll be getting fatigued, blowing a bit down there, but he only needs 4 more boys if somehow he can. It's 4 big boys, though. 4 boys on the 11 is tough. But if he can find a way to get 4 more boys on this next pass, he'll be through. He might not be super popular with the Melbourne crowd because he's going to eliminate Nick Adams. But it's all up to him. Of course, the young American from up there in Alaska, but he does, of course, attend Arizona State University, so he goes to school down there in Arizona.
Recent graduate.
Oh, recent, okay. What did he graduate in, Curtis?
Could not tell you.
That's interesting. I thought you guys were close. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, massive moment. I don't know what he's done before, and I don't really care. It all comes down to MOOMBA now for Carter Eaton, because this is a massive moment in his career. If he can somehow find a way when he's been crook, it's his first trip to MOOMBA. This is going to be one for the ages, I reckon. If he can get 4 at 11 here, he is going to make his way into MOOMBA Monday Slalom Final. We wish him the best. Here he comes. Round 1, beautiful 1 ball. He's all over this. Round 2, slack rope on 2. He's getting late. He's around 3. He's really late. Can he get to 4? Oh, no, he hasn't. And that's a tragedy on the water almost, Curtis, because such a good start. And he just got a bit of slack line on 2 and was late for 3, and he slipped under. And Nick Adams will make his way into that men's slalom final. Wow.
It's a cutthroat sport, and unfortunately it has not gone Carter Eaton's way. And you start to wonder, you know, did the bug play a part there? He would have been short on energy levels, but he slipped inside 4 ball. Disappointing stuff for him, but great news for the local Melbourne crowd that we do have the Victorian Nick Adams through to the men's slalom final on MOOMBA Monday. We'll probably have a quick official changeover, but within the next couple minutes we should be underway with the hotly anticipated Open Women's Slalom LCQ. And we're going to move to the 18 because we're going to have a change in commentary, and you'll be joined by the great Rob Wing.